City Wrestling, and welcome to episode 319 of Grind City Wrestling. You can check out the archives. You can follow us at Grind City Media. Take that subscribe button to Slap City wherever you're watching or listening. Also, you can just download the Grind City Media app and check us out there. Last week, we talked about the road to WrestleMania, where things are really starting to heat up, and this week, it's a little bit much of the same. However, it's got a lot of chatter asking, what is real and what is fake? And I can't wait to talk all about it with my co-host, my tag team partner, a man who needs no introduction, especially in the city of Memphis. It's Devin Walker, baby!
I think the neighbors think I'm selling dope. How you doing, 5-star?
I'm doing awesome. I'm fresh off of a vacation. I know you were out of town as well.
I was out of town, but the real question is, how glorious are you, 5-star?
Glorious.
You see the shirt I'm wearing today. The real ones know who's on this shirt. A guy who I think is very underrated.
Well,
in the entrance wrestling sphere,
brother.
Great tag team wrestler, though.
This theme song was so good that he instantly became over.
Yes.
It was almost like a crutch because you hear the music and everybody's got to do it.
Yep. And now you sit on the shirt. I got an NXT shirt from back.
Show us the back. Come on.
You want to see the back?
This is classic black and gold.
Oh crap. Hold on. Let me turn around.
Oh, watch out.
Black and gold right there.
Yeah, it's.
I am glorious.
It's pandering if I show off my Memphis Wrestling baseball jerseys, which, by the way, you can get from me, MemphisWrestling.tv.
It's not the same as my glorious Bobby
You
Roode
show
shirt.
the tag.
Oh, you want to see
You
the
got
tag?
to show that it's authentic.
Yeah, this is not fake, guys. I don't do fake shirts.
Be sure to follow Devin.
I don't do reprints. We do real OG shirts.
At Devin_Walker 2. Other than the shirt, what's new?
Nothing really, bro. It's going to be a good show today because we got to talk about some beef.
Lots of
What's
beef.
beef, you know? What's beef?
Lots of really, really good stuff. Just when you think everything is firing on all cylinders, the WWE puts the pedal to the metal. SmackDown and Raw were absolutely fantastic. There's a couple of stories that I've got to get your opinions on. I have a ton of news, AEW, WWE, and OVW news.
Not OVW.
We haven't talked about OVW since Netflix, so it's a lot to talk about. But first, Saturday, April the 19th, Su Yung returns to Memphis Wrestling. She's going to spit blood in somebody's face, I'm sure.
Oh, that's
then
weird.
we just made that's what she does. We just made the announcement that on Sunday, May the 18th, the best Scorpio Sky is coming to Memphis Wrestling.
Where is he now?
Still with AEW, apparently.
Oh.
We saw him a couple of months ago in with Private Party, getting into the party. You know how they have to undo the rope in the VIP area and all that stuff. And we didn't really see anything after that.
How crazy they fallen, by the way, too. They were like my favorite tag team for a little bit.
Scorpio Sky was one of the first ever tag team champions in AEW.
He was.
He beat Chris Jericho in a one-on-one contest, and I thought, oh my gosh, this dude is off to the races. They've got something special here.
Until he was not off to the races.
I wonder. So we got to check with Scorpio to get him on the podcast to talk about it. But you can meet him May the 18th. Also, he's going to be in action right there in Memphis Wrestling.
That's dope. Let's talk about some wrestling. Let's talk about what happened this week, man.
I want to tell people to come out and see us on Saturday
at
the Liberty Bowl.
But I'm going to shit on the showboats.
But I know you're just all you're going to do.
Oh, no. Go out and see Dustin. Come out and see Dustin. Don't watch the football game.
Skipper's going to be there.
Who the Skipper?
All my friends are mascots, bro. So you got Pouncer is involved with wrestling, and then you have Super Grizz diving off stuff, putting people through tables. Of course, Rocky the Rockin' Redbird. So now it's Skipper.
Okay, how about y'all just go watch the wrestling and don't watch the football? How about that?
All right, we'll talk about it just a little bit, but a lot to talk about. Best wrestling we watched all week. Really, this could be a whole bunch of different things.
There's so many things there's so many directions I can go with this.
You're up first.
And this one, I'm going to go in the direction that I think if you follow me on Twitter, the direction I went on Twitter when I first initially saw this, I had to pause my television. But it's not going to be my best. I'm just going to throw this as a tidbit.
Okay.
My girl Bianca Belair in the all black.
Oh, yes.
When she came out in the all black, I had to do the LL Cool J.
Bro.
She looked phenomenal.
She looked jacked.
Yes.
She had that baby oil on her, too. They're booing her.
She looked like a heel. And I love the way she looked.
Rhea Ripley is so over with the people that they are booing Bianca Belair.
Even though I still hate this situation because obviously we knew it was going to be a triple threat.
Yes.
But like Adam Pearce had to announce it was going to be a triple. I'm like, whatever. We know what's going to happen.
Look, if we're being honest here with those three women in the ring, two very, very powerful and over with the audience, I don't feel like Io Sky is in that mix right now.
Respectfully,
Do you? Respectfully,
she
as hell.
does not belong.
Bro, we're talking about Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, two of the biggest superstars in the wrestling world.
Yes, Io, what's her name?
Io Sky.
You don't belong. Io does not belong. And I had a homie text me this weekend and told me I gotta stop putting smut on Io Sarai's name.
This is an opportunity.
You don't belong, Io.
Of a lifetime.
This is Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. You're just a sideshow, respectfully.
We're about to find out.
But my best wrestling of the week, and this is also gonna be my most confusing wrestling of the week.
Okay.
So you had there was some interesting thing that happened this week in wrestling that kind of like threw me off a little bit.
If you don't pick it, I'm gonna talk about it. I swear.
Okay. So we had Paul Heyman walk out to the ring, right? Do a little promo. He's doing the sad Paul Heyman thing, right? Seth Rollins comes out and explains to him why Roman Reigns is not his friend. Roman Reigns was not there for you in your time of need.
Like
when they put you through the table, he was not there for you, Paul. He was not there for you. By the way, on this podcast, who said that this? Actually, let me keep breaking it down. He's not there for you, Paul. He doesn't love you, Paul. He turned his back on you, Paul. He goes to CM Punk. When you were down and out, CM Punk said he's your friend now, but he was not your friend back then. He was not there for you. He wasn't this, he wasn't that, right? And so he starts like nudge him and trying to get a reaction out of Paul Heyman to get CM Punk to come out, right? Gets him in the corner, grabs him by the neck. CM Punk comes out. They battle it out. Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, bam, boom.
Boom, 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 bam. Little fisticuff, boom, boom, boom. And then he lays CM Punk out. And as Heyman is tending to CM Punk,
Yes.
the camera shot turns to Seth Rollins.
Watch out.
And he sees an opportunity. And he goes and runs and fakes the stomp and says,
Psych.
"You owe me a favor." Let's rewind. What the hell does that even mean? Because just because I didn't knock you out, you owe me a favor?
He could have kicked his head off with the
That doesn't make sense.
the stomp.
That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Just because I didn't kick your head off, you owe me a favor. And I'm gonna leave this here. I'm gonna leave it right here.
This is the best wrestling you watched all week?
It's the most confusing.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave this here because
Well, mine's the best and worst.
who said on this podcast last week? You're gonna have to rewind. Who said? Because you were like, I don't know. On this podcast last week, I told you. I said Paul Heyman is gonna turn on both of them and end up with Seth Rollins. And you said, I don't know. But this week, the story is Paul Heyman going to align himself with Seth Rollins?
You know who agrees with you? Bully Ray on Busted Open. He said the same thing. He said, we've seen 2 of the 3. Who needs Paul Heyman? Who needs something different? Who needs a change more than anybody in that match?
I called it.
CM Punk doesn't need Paul Heyman.
I called it.
He doesn't. And Roman Reigns, he might go away until SummerSlam. He doesn't need Paul Heyman either.
I called it.
Seth Rollins is just on that hump, and this is what all Bully Ray said. He called it right down the middle and said that it looks like he thinks the only thing that they could do that's surprising is to have Paul side with Seth Rollins. Here's my thing. I love the 3. I love the poster. It looks awesome.
Yes.
CM Punk, Seth Rollins.
3 superstars.
And the OTC, baby. But you know what they're fighting over?
Paul Heyman.
The wise man, Paul. What are these 3 super athletes doing fighting over a dude?
So you know what that means, right? You know it's time, right? This basically going to have a custody of Paul Heyman
Oh
match.
my gosh.
Like the old Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio custody of Dom match.
It has literally
custody of Paul
turned
at
into
WrestleMania, baby.
3 of the big superstars in the entire world fighting over a wrestling manager.
Custody of Paul Heyman match at WrestleMania 41, baby. Mark it down. Put Paul Heyman in one of those little shark cages and let him fight over it. Whoever wins the match gets Paul Heyman.
Which, by the way, they're all 3 former world champions,
It's a weird
right?
concept. That's what I'm saying. That's
It totally is.
That's why this is so weird to me, Dustin. It's like, what, why?
Why?
Like I understood Paul Heyman saying I owe CM Punk a favor. So I'm going to be in his corner.
But they just keep taking baby steps because now there's another favor that we don't know about.
Yes.
And then now Seth Rollins says he has a favor.
Because I didn't kick you in the head.
Right. So there's all these favors that are going around.
I'd rather you just kick me in the head.
Just kick me next time, bro. All right. Best wrestling you watched all week?
Most confused wrestling all week.
The best and worst wrestling that I watched all week. And this is primarily due to the wrestling fans. They drive me nuts.
Oh, no. You're going to blame the wrestling fans again.
Best and worst wrestling that I watched all week. Please tell me that you saw Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton
I was hoping you were going to bring
in
this
the
up.
ring with live mics,
let's
throwing live rounds, baby.
Let's talk about this.
All right,
Let's talk about this, because sometimes in this wrestling world, you work in the wrestling world, the lines get a little blurry.
If this was off script, and the reason I say if, WWE has deleted some of that footage. They edited out some of the stuff, the Kaiser in the DMs, and maybe some of the stuff about the divorce.
You're 0-3.
0-3 as far as
outside the ring,
marriages and all that kind of stuff. But also, that was an interview that they did publicly that Charlotte did. So I think they're working us a little bit on this whole thing.
So that's the question. I want to ask you this question because we didn't make this real. Is the Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton situation a work or a shoot?
Now,
real or fake?
Now, I feel like it's a mixture.
Okay.
And the reason I feel like that it's a mixture is I think the things that are probably a shoot are not the things that you guys think is a shoot. Like when Tiffy Time said that you're not the queen of shit. When she said that, to me, that's a scripted thing because you wouldn't cuss unless you were given permission, right? Now, the thing that I feel like that was a shoot is Charlotte talking over the top when Tiffany was trying to hit her punchlines. If you're talking over me when I'm trying to give my punchlines in a promo, it's just like when they say, what did Cody say to John Cena when John Cena was getting out of the ring and Cena looked and he made a reaction and turned around and walked over to him? That's selling a promo. Like when you tell me you're not the queen of, then she should go, like, how dare you say that? That's how you sell a promo instead of talking over the punchline.
She did that.
It was brutal.
Your voice is so squeaky.
Also,
like,
it was
Charlotte?
a little awkward that Tiffy jumped out of the ring. Now, I don't blame her. She's getting her licks in and getting out of there. And meanwhile, Charlotte is still trying to talk over her and trying to keep her from getting the crowd pops.
So that's where I think I was doing some reading, and they said that's where kind of the lines got blurred. Because they were going, like you said, they're going blow for blow, bar for bar. Kind of like.
Why would you mention Kaiser? Do you realize that the fans watching at home, my son, my kids, probably some of your friends that aren't on the dirt sheets, have no idea that Tiffany Stratton is dating Ludwig Kaiser.
Exactly.
Have no idea. So people are going, wait,
what?
What? And I know you're going to say to yourself, well, why don't they just get on the internet and look? They don't do that.
They don't do that. Oh,
They're casual fans.
Hey, as much as y'all believe, you super supreme wrestling nerds, some people just watch the show.
You're outnumbered, guys. There are internet nerds like us that read and watch everything.
We're digging the dirt sheets.
We're digging it. We see it. We watch it. Now, I know the difference in I know bullshit when I smell it. But also, the average everyday fan does not know that those two are dating. It was just a dumb thing.
The sheets say that when she rolled out of the ring and she flipped the mic, that was her getting out of the situation because she didn't want to go back and forth with Charlotte.
I've been in this situation.
You have.
I have.
Speak on it.
I've been in this situation where when you're in the ring, there's no net and it's just the two of you back and forth.
Yeah.
When this person decides to go into business for themselves, and that's what they call it, is going into business for
Charlotte's
yourself.
done this way too often, but recently.
She's dropped the belt when she was supposed to hand it over. There's a whole list of things that people are going through with Charlotte right now. They just need to lean into her being a heel and let the people boo her.
And she is one of those two, like, I don't think she wanted to get booed initially.
Right.
She wanted those things like, okay, the queen's back, everybody cheer me.
Thank God the greatest woman wrestler of all time is back. Yes, no. Instead, we're like, boo,
boo, you suck.
It's Joe Montana. We hate you because you're Tom Brady. We hate you because you're so good. Yeah. Please go lose.
And I think that bothers her because it's one of those things. I think she looks at Tiffany Stratton in real life, not just wrestling, not just in wrestling.
Hey,
world.
Look at him.
Not just in wrestling world. I think she looks at Tiffany Stratton and think that used to be me.
Yes, look at them. They are both blonde, have similar looks. Super athletes, attractive, drawing money, winning championships. Tiffany's younger now, but I know Charlotte's looking. So what you got to do in that situation?
Charlotte looks like she's 85 years old.
Especially you do not like Charlotte Flair.
It's just the Build-A-Bear face that throws me off.
I know you hate that part of it, but you have to. When this happens to you, you have to think. All right, first of all, what am I going to do? I can't make everybody in the locker room mad, but this person's going into business for themselves. So how do I respond and do it in character? How far is this going to go? If somebody goes off script, what if they touch you? In the situation that I had, the guy grabbed my tie and flipped my tie, and I thought, okay, I'm about to beat this guy's ass.
In real life?
In real life. Because
Can you say who the guy was?
No, you wouldn't know who it was anyways. But what am I going to do? So you just have to go toe to toe and hope you win. Because it's a shoot at that point.
Okay, so when the situation happened to you, when the guy decided he wanted to go into business for himself,
and this was not on Raw or SmackDown or anything
What'd you
that.
do?
I gave it back. Gave it back the best that I can.
How did you diffuse the situation?
I can't remember exactly. I just hit the punchline and we left the ring.
Okay.
Because at that point, you're going into business for yourself. And keep in mind, too, like it takes two to tango, man. If I don't want to do the match, if you're going into business yourself on a promo, how am I going to feel about stepping into the ring with you?
Sure.
There's a lot of trust that goes on, but this is on a whole different level.
Yeah.
You got to think, if this is really happening and there's stuff that's going off script, how far off script? Do they get physical? And I don't think either one of them are worried about the WrestleMania match. Usually you have really good matches with people that you do not like because you're not worried about not hurting them.
Exactly.
You're laying it in, brother.
Exactly. And I think, too, that they've done this situations have made the match bigger. Right?
Now we're talking about it. Now we like it.
Now we like it.
Just like the Jimmy Uso getting busted open. It took that to say, oh, wait a second.
Even though the promo he gave on Monday Night Raw, I was so fucking confused because he went from saying, Gunther, I'm scared of you. I had to tell my mom where my brother was. And I was like, what?
He's becoming the underdog.
Then he was like, I'm scared of you. Then I was like, I'm not scared of you. And I was like, wait, what's happening? Then Gunther was just standing there like, oh, okay. Then he was like, now I'm going to go into the side that I've never seen before. I'm like, oh my God, shut up.
He is attempting to be the underdog and to acknowledge that there's a little bit of fear and a little bit of
like he even stopped the crowd from eating.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever a good idea.
Like he was like talking, and the crowd was like, "Yeet," and he was like,
"Yeah, hold on, calm down.
Like, hey, let me get my shit
I'm doing
off.
a serious thing. I'm doing a serious thing here.
Like this is it's not eat time. Can y'all calm down?"
I am seeing a lot of Jey Uso heat on the internet. A lot of hate on the internet, but like I said, when he was here live at FedEx Forum, we didn't see any of that.
I'm so mad at myself, Dustin 5-star. I give my best wrestling to something that I should not have given my best wrestling to.
All right, you got to redo?
Got to redo.
Quickly
redo. Best wrestling I watched all week. The Braun Breaker spear on Carlito.
Okay.
It was the greatest spear of all time. Debate your refrigerator, bro. That spear had velocity. It had the camera angle. Carlito sold that shit like a champ. Bro, Braun Breaker, bro.
Carlito's like a low-key MVP right now. Like
he
anytime he's on
really
camera,
low level shit, right?
Yeah, you're laughing, you're snickering, and then he takes these big bumps.
Yeah, Braun Breaker, greatest that spear on Carlito, greatest spear I've ever seen in my life.
The note I had was Braun Breaker broke the internet.
Dude,
I saw it everywhere.
That spear was amazing.
Yes. All right, let's get into some news.
Also
and notes.
looked like it hurt.
Best wrestling you watched all week apparently is Braun Breaker,
Yes.
maybe something like that. Mine was the best and worst, which was Tiffany Stratton, toe-to-toe with Charlotte Flair. That's a whole thing that I don't know that WWE was quite ready for, to turn Tiffany Stratton babyface. Even though she had turned on Nia Jax, there's just a whole different level with this whole Charlotte Flair thing. Anyways, I do have some notes. Tony Hinchcliffe, you familiar with this guy?
I have no idea who that is.
He's hosting the WrestleMania roast coming up.
Why are we doing a WrestleMania roast?
I don't know. I think it could be good, though. Lots of really funny cocaine stories and everything if they're allowed to tell them. Bret Hart has so many cocaine stories. It's unbelievable. But anyway, there's a WrestleMania roast that's going to go on.
Okay.
Tony Hinchcliffe was on Monday Night Raw doing commentary and had some pretty unfunny jokes, I guess. And
I watched Raw on mute this week. I ain't gonna lie to you.
kind of pissed off the fans, so he told Michael Cole that he's so old, the first match that he ever called was David versus Goliath.
Boo.
But the one thing that really made everybody mad was that he made a joke in reference to Big E's and weak neck.
Boo.
Could you imagine doing commentary on the NBA, right? And Jalen Wells takes the big bump. And then you have something to say about
him taking the big bump.
Yeah, something funny.
That's tough. You can't do it immediately. You gotta let some time go by.
Yeah, well, okay, so some time went by. What if it was like...
like, he has to be back on the court for you to make the joke.
Yeah. Well, it's just... Why is it different to do that? Well, Bobby the Brain Heenan did it for years.
It has to be funny, though.
It was not funny. People are killing him, and now he's going to host the WrestleMania roast.
Jesus.
All right. Vince McMahon, by the way, did not buy TNA Wrestling. I had that in my notes because I had people on Facebook Live asking me if that was true because April Fool's just passed. So anything that you guys read on April the 1st
Wrestling fans
is not true.
Wrestling fans are so damn gullible sometimes.
But something that is true, I wanted to get a little bit of AEW flavor in here because we had the pay-per-view over the weekend.
The Young Bucks came back.
Young Bucks came back. I'm going to talk about that. But Tony Khan, in an interview last week, said there will be more hardcore wrestling. And the reason why is the fans love it.
Okay. And I saw, this is the thing. Let's talk about this.
Hey, wait, hold on.
Because I saw RVD.
I know RVD's hating it. I'm applauding Tony Khan.
Why?
Because at least he's saying, dude, this is
on
what we
business?
do.
He's standing on business.
That's what we do. We're gonna hey, the fans like it. We're gonna give you more of it. Wait till you see what we do next time.
So RVD, he spoke about this. You see this?
And he's right.
He said that's
He
not
never
right.
did that stuff.
He's like, we never did that. I worked for ECW. We never did that.
Ever.
He was like, when I was in ECW, when we were kind of given those matches, we thought those were kind of like junk matches, right?
Yes.
The bottom of the bottom.
And he's right.
It's not really guys that like do wrestling moves.
They
just go
don't
out
know
there
how to
and
wrestle. They
beat the
can't
shit
put
out
you in
of
a
people.
headlock, but they can hit you with shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think he makes a good point, right? He's like, yo, that's where I'm going to side with WWE because they're telling stories, right? More so than doing video game wrestling, hitting people with weapons. I want to ask you this question. So you like it that they're going to lean into it?
I like that he said what he's going to do.
Okay.
It's not an issue. It's not, hey, we're doing dumb stuff. Hey, it's like, hey, no, we are going to do more hardcore wrestling because our fans like it.
Okay.
That's like people saying they don't like Memphis because it's hokey. That's what we are, bro. We're going to do hokey stuff.
Hokey.
You might see thumbtacks once every couple of years. We saw a ladder match coming up this Saturday on the show. So you're going to get some of that. You're going to get some barn burners. You're going to get some Bosby, Marco Harris train wrecks with spots all over the place. But, you know.
You're going to get some Nixie XS missing her spin kick.
you're definitely going to get some cheese and some hoke. That's for sure.
Nixie, make sure you land a spin kick next time.
Oh, boy. Shout out to Nixie. She's going to be at Vegas all WrestleMania week long.
Shout out to her. Make sure you hit that spin kick next time when you're out there in Vegas.
Okay, you mentioned Swerve Strickland. He's on the list here.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
Okay, I try to stay away from this story.
Nah, you
can't.
Bring
it down to me.
No. I need you for this story.
Okay, the thing is, you're gonna explain it to me.
Okay.
Because I've tried to stay away from it. Because anytime I see anybody sit in front of a DJ Vlad camera, I don't watch it.
I'm
DJ
not
Vlad
so familiar with DJ Vlad.
DJ Vlad is the ops.
But I'm learning
He's the ops.
that he did an interview with Swerve.
Yes.
Swerve had some stuff to say about racism in WWE.
Yes.
Booker T said, hey, I've never seen that. Look at me. He's got more Hall of Fame inductions than anybody, you know, doing mad business with WWE. Then it was like, well, hey, you were on that show. No, I wasn't. So Booker T, I guess, had to show some receipts saying that he turned that down. Anyways, neither here nor there. I think it's very weird that Swerve Strickland is battling with Booker T.
Yeah,
one of the most famous wrestlers in the entire world.
And one of the most famous black wrestlers of all time. He's probably like
the greatest.
He's the greatest black wrestler of all time.
Yes, hands down. At me, bro.
Why are you fighting with him?
Fight your refrigerator, okay? Swerve didn't get the job done. He didn't win the title. The Young Bucks come back, and it's this top secret thing. I hadn't seen any spoilers or anything. The Bucks are back. Oh, my gosh. Then they go off the air, and there's this big thing. The Bucks, blah, 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 blah. Swerve grabs a microphone off air, which, by the way, you're never off air because off-air stuff goes more viral than on-air stuff. And Swerve cuts this promo. And at the end, he says, by the way, F Booker T.
Yeah, you can't say F Booker T.
Now, the only thing the internet is talking about is not the Bucks coming back, not the big main event championship match that you just had, but they're talking about you throwing barbs at Booker T, who works for the other company.
You can't throw bars at the GOAT.
Do I love the drama? Yes, I do. But do I think it's really, really dumb? Because where's Swerve Strickland going to go next?
Didn't he just lose his belt?
Swerve?
Yeah.
He just fought Moxley and tried to get it back, and he lost. And then at the end, all we're talking about is Booker T, who works for NXT WWE.
Exactly. Actually, can we talk about something related to Booker T real quick?
Yeah.
Did you see this weekend?
Maybe.
WWE LFG. Do you see this?
Oh, I did not catch up on this week's episode.
I need to address this because I think it's freaking stupid. And this is for all you old heads out there. This is for some of the people that Dustin deal with. All you gatekeepers of wrestling. All you old heads that think the old times are so much better.
You
than
know what you
wrestling.
need to do?
So, yeah, exactly.
Love that. You know what you need to do? You know who you need to book?
Back in my day as wrestlers. So you didn't see it. So on this week's episode of WWE LFG, you had Evander Holyfield's kid wrestle his first match.
Nice.
He looks like a $1 trillion, but bro, buff as hell, You know what
Shout
I'm
out to
saying?
Swipe Right, by the way. That was on NXT this week.
So he wrestles in a necklace, a chain, in earrings.
Okay. I already
They
know where
finish
you're
the
going.
match. Bubba Ray and Undertaker are like, yeah, you look good, but like, ditch the chain.
I'd tear that off.
I'd tear that chain off immediately.
I'd rip your earrings out.
Yeah, what are you doing? Like you look great, the physique's great, but like the chain just distracts me. Taker. You wrestle with your damn ears, your freaking eyebrow pierced. Bubba Ray Dudley. One of the greatest times in your career is when you had the chain around your neck, bro. The little dog collar. What are we talking about? Don't be the old grumpy guy. All of a sudden, now that you're the coach for the WWE NXT or LFG, don't be the grumpy guy. If that's a part of his character, let that be a part of his character, bro. Don't put him in the weird lump of just buff black guy, right? Like
He's
what's
not
his
over
name?
yet. He's
Apollo Crews. Don't put him in that group. Let him get some eyes. Let him put some. Let him differentiate
Once you're
himself.
over, you can do that stuff. They don't like you to do it before you're over.
Which is weird.
Mickey James, did you? And I love Mickey James. Mickey James, if you're watching this, I love you.
Yeah.
You're one of my favorites of all time.
It's so weird.
But when she said that she wants to see more than ass parading around the ring,
Yeah.
you're like, you
Bro, you were
paved that way.
You were part of the freaking diva era.
They did that because you did that.
Yeah, like what are we
Literally.
talking about? What are we talking about? This one.
What, are we talking about practice?
These old heads, bro.
What are we talking
like,
about here?
Respectful to everybody, all the old heads, like Bubba Ray and Undertaker, part of the greatest era of wrestling. But respectfully, bro, what the hell are we talking about?
Don't do anything cool.
Why are you wearing a necklace? Why are you wearing earrings? I would have snatched that necklace off your neck.
They
Come
say
on,
that
bro.
in the locker room too. So and these are little podunk towns and stuff to where it's like, you know what I'd do if you wore that in the ring with me? You ain't gonna do shit, bro.
So how do you like as a wrestling promoter and a wrestling coach?
I kind of let them do their thing unless it's just really stupid.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if it's really stupid, it's like, all right. Why,
Like speaking of,
why
like,
did
I
do
think
that?
you should add some. Actually, you have a wrestler named Ice Main Sosa.
Yeah.
he should wear ice.
He should totally wear ice.
He should wear ice.
He should be iced out.
He should be
and
iced
he
out.
should probably keep at least one piece on him or close to him because guess what he's going to use to win?
His ice.
He's going to use his
Because
ice.
they wrestled this week on your show, and I was like, why is this dude just out here with no earrings, no chain?
Character
just...
development, first time on television. What about I love Money, Mama Money and CJ Money, but where's the money?
Yeah, it's a lot of.
Where's the money?
Yeah, we're talking about local stuff right now, but yeah, other than the fact, let these young wrestlers create,
Let
be
'em
who they
cook.
be. Let them cook. Bubba Ray, Taker,
Do you
come on,
know-
bro. We saw you wrestle with an eyebrow piercing, bro.
I heard stories about The Rock where The Rock told people, Brickhouse Brown, for instance. Brickhouse told me this story before he passed a million times because he worked with Dwayne, is that he told him he was going to do a people eyebrow where he lifted up his eyebrow. He told him he was going to say stuff like, you smell what The Rock's cooking and stuff. And Brickhouse thought it was the dumbest thing he'd ever heard. That will never get over. That is so dumb. And guess what?
One of the greatest characters of all time.
Biggest superstar in the entire world. All right.
So yeah,
Real quick, couple more things. United Kingdom-based company buys Louisville's iconic Ohio Valley Wrestling. Ownership team behind the historical Louisville-based OVW company, which, by the way, has had so many major stars come from there. Batista, Brock Lesnar,
John Cena.
Sean Benjamin, John Cena. I mean, literally, the list goes on and on. Randy Orton cut his teeth and trained at OVW. And they actually had the Mayor Craig Greenberg was on the controlling stake. They sold it to a sports management company based in the United Kingdom. Monday's announcement marks the third acquisition of OVW in 4 years, and the fourth since 2018. So that tells me somebody's buying a bill of goods. You buy this company expecting to make whatever it is,
you ain't
and
making shit.
it hadn't happened. So again, I don't know what this means for the local product of OVW.
That's wild because like you had the Netflix show, you would think you would get that bump from that, right?
Yes. And so I kind of look at it like WrestleMania season, right? So when WWE's here, right? WrestleMania season hits, bam, they peak up. And then after WrestleMania season, they come back down, right? But usually they don't come all the way back down. They stay up a little bit. So the average is higher because they retain some of those new fans from that WrestleMania spike.
Yeah, that first Raw after Mania is always a banger.
That's the problem with OVW and the Netflix. I feel like it spiked them so hard.
Yeah.
There wasn't somebody with the skill set to maybe keep that social presence going, keep that YouTube rocking and rolling. Because Memphis Wrestling has more subscribers than OVW, and that should not be the case based off the history of OVW and all the
had a
superstars.
Netflix show about you.
Literally a whole season of Netflix about you. And then maybe the positive of this is that they've turned around and they've sold it to make some money. But in the article written by Gilbert Coursey, who, by the way, was on Derby City Wrestling and used to work for Ohio Valley Wrestling, Matt Jones, the guy who's on the radio, you guys, if you watch the Netflix series, he's the radio guy.
Sports radio legend.
Yeah, he's a legend. Bought into it, and he said that it was just super hard to make ends meet month after month. Which means what?
They ain't making shit.
They ain't making no money.
Like, even from, like, ticket sales and everything?
I mean, they could be selling out the shows, but if you're paying for Mick Foley's and Al Snow's and Enzo's and you have all that overhead, they actually had some pretty big superstars on their program, and that costs a lot of money. Like, I know the rates and hotels and flights and everything else. It's very, very expensive. So just because you have a sold-out house doesn't necessarily mean that you're making
going
bread.
into the product.
It's going into production of shooting it, and
So you break even.
maybe.
That's tough.
Yeah. So OVW sold, not sure what that means as far as what's going to happen locally, but as soon as I find out, I'd love to hear Jim Cornette's take on that.
Oh, you know he has a take. Where's my girl at now? What's little stink that used to wrestle in OVW? The blonde hair joint. Little crazy one.
What? Oh, Hollywood Haley J.
I love her.
Why don't we get her on the podcast? She'll tell us everything.
Yeah, I know. She's one of them. She's wild, boy.
All right, well, that's
She
my
reminds me-
news.
She's from like Covington or somewhere.
Ripley.
yeah, for real. For real.
Highway 51. All right, that's all the news and notes I got. What do you got? Anything?
Oh, that's all I got. I brought up everything I was kind of like thinking about, from the necklace thing to the Jey Uso thing. John Cena's gonna be on the last SmackDown before Mania.
Nice.
So we'll see what happens with that, bro. It's probably one of the best times in wrestling right now. It's Mania season, right?
It really is.
So
I was asked earlier if you were going to show a new fan a WrestleMania. It could be any WrestleMania. Which one would it be? My favorite's WrestleMania 6, the Ultimate Challenge, Hogan versus Warrior. But that's not what I would show them, though.
That's a really good question.
You would have to show them something that has The Rock and Cody and Roman.
Oh, you can do the hair versus hair match. Donald Trump versus
Trump, yeah.
Because that would be like
They'd be like, oh, he was in wrestling.
Exactly, current event times, right?
Definitely something with The Rock. If you're going to show a new fan, it's like, whoa, he's still doing that, or wow, he's
Icon versus Icon, Hogan versus Rock. That was fun.
That was very good.
So yeah.
All right,
Actually,
coming up.
we could do that next week. Let's save that question for next week because I'm gonna think about that.
What would you? Okay, well, how about this next week with the induction into matches now going into the Hall of Fame? What if we induct?
That's so stupid, by the way.
Are you serious?
Bro,
I
that's
love it.
Dumb. Okay.
I can name matches off the top of my head that are Hall of Fame worthy.
Okay, that's the thing. Okay, let's talk. You want to talk about it for like 2 seconds?
We could talk about it for 2 seconds. I'm thinking that this is business for these guys that are retired too.
That means that one, we ran out of freaking wrestlers to put in the Hall of Fame.
No.
And two, okay, so we
first of all, shout out to Kamala, the Ugandan Giant.
Shout out to Kamala.
Shout out, love Kamala.
But the question is, are you putting matches that are guys that have been? Are these subjective, right?
They are all subjective.
So that means, like, are you putting matches of guys that are like that you don't like or like that have left the company in the Hall of Fame?
You should.
Are they going to do it?
No.
Exactly. That's the point.
What do you want them to do?
If you're going to have a whole, you can't have like, I'm not going to say Benoit's name, but like, you got to put you can't be like oh, I'm not going to put that match over here because he's a scumbag. If it's a banger match, it's a banger match. It's a banger match. It's a banger match. 5
Well, there's so many matches. There's plenty to go around.
Yeah, we can talk about this next week. This is the next week conversation.
Next week, we're going to induct our favorite matches into the WWE Hall of Fame. Real quick before we go, this Saturday, that's April 12th, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, Memphis Wrestling is there for the Showboat Showdown featuring the Gun Show. Boom! Along with Skipper. So get those tickets, memphiswrestling.com. You like that when I do that.
What just happened?
Boom! That's going to be awesome. Get there about 12:30. We're going to have pregame matches, also a huge halftime main event. Then Sunday, April the 19th, Sue Young returns to Memphis Wrestling. Sunday, May 18th, AEW superstar Scorpio Sky will be in the house. And then Saturday, April the 26th, it's Wrestling Night at Dickey Stevens Park in Little Rock, Arkansas for the Arkansas Travelers. Also got baseball coming up, Grizzlies coming up. Going to be super busy. What you got going on?
Grizzlies coming up. Season's about to end. Playoffs coming up. Just staying busy.
Playoffs?
Watching wrestling. Living my life. Buying random T-shirts. I was in a wrestling live the other night, and a shirt went for $3K.
Holy cow! What shirt is that?
What shirt it was? It went for like $3K.
Is that a Stone Cold Austin 316?
Nah, those shirts
blew his nose on it or
Austin
something?
shirts don't usually go for them. Like go for crazy amounts. It's like these I don't know, bro. The wrestling community, It's a weird place.
$3,000 for a used T-shirt.
One guy dropped a $1,000 blind bid, and he didn't know what he was getting. It's a wild place, bro.
That's when you got too much money.
Yeah. One dude was like, "I'll drop $1K. Just give me something." To one of the guys in the live. It's a wild place. The most I'll like in these lives, I'll put like if it's a shirt I want, I'll put like $50, and I'll go up to like 80, and I'll stop.
I need to get random, like anonymous OnlyFans stuff.
What?
Okay, follow me here. I know people that do stuff on OnlyFans.
What's happening?
It's not. This is like OnlyFans. Like you're buying T-shirts from.
It's not like old fan. It's not like old
Okay,
fan.
well, maybe I'm off in my own world here. But hold on.
This guy?
There are wrestlers that do OnlyFans, and they're not advertised or marketed on their social media channels. But the things that they do on these OnlyFans are so funny to me. Like buying $3,000 T-shirt.
Why do you know about these OnlyFans?
Because they work for me, bro. They tell me. I don't have subscriptions. Maria, I promise I do not have
He
it.
has a subscription. Don't you worry. Like, okay, I remember that. It was a Dudley Boy. It was a ring-worn Dudley Boys tie-dye shirt. Threw it for $3K.
Old ECW. All right.
Yeah, we're getting
I'm
into
out
these now. Yeah.
$3,000. All right, that's all the time we got here on Grind City Wrestling. He is Devin Walker, baby. I am Dustin Starr. Sing. So long, everybody.
He subscribes to OnlyFans. Watch out.